The figure shows cost and revenue for a company. So if we consider the two functions, obviously revenue is labeled, but notice that revenue is zero when zero items are sold. This is usually going to be the case in real life. Also notice on the revenue function, we have another point that is fairly easy to distinguish. So in addition to having a point for the revenue at 0, 0, we also have a point where the quantity is 500 and the revenue is $2,000. So if we use these 2 points to find the slope for the revenue would be 2,000 minus 0 over 500 minus 0, which would be 2,000 divided by 500, which would be equal to 4. So the slope of the revenue function is 4. We could rewrite the function as R of Q is equal to 4Q. Might be easier to understand the $4 as the price that is charged for the product. Now let's look at the cost function, and we'll identify a couple of key points. The first point, and the most obvious one of importance, would be the intercept. So when Q is equal to 0, the cost is approximately $750. This represents the fixed costs. And then in order to find the variable cost, we might need to identify the slope. So we need a second point. We'll say when the quantity is 900, we'll approximate this to be $2,250. So these points would give us a slope for the cost function to be approximately 2250 minus 750 divided by 900 minus 1, which is 1500 divided by 900, which is approximately 1.67. Or that gives us a fixed cost of $750 and a variable cost per item of roughly $1.67. As we observe the graph, we could also look at the break-even point. And so if we look for the break-even point, it's where the two functions intersect each other. This would be the point right here. And if we estimate that, the break-even point would be at a quantity roughly around 333, and there'd be a total cost and total revenue of roughly about $1,300. So just to review, we were able to determine the price of the product is approximately $4. The fixed costs were approximately $750. The variable cost per item was roughly $1.67, and we break even when the quantity is somewhere around 333 items and the total cost and total revenue both would equal approximately $1,300. We could also look at the profit by looking at just the revenue and the cost. And if we consider the profit, let's say at 600 units produced and sold, that would represent the gap between the revenue and the cost function. And this gap right here looks to be roughly around $600. A little bit more than one square tall. If we looked a little bit down toward the 100 mark, so if we look at the profit when we both produce and sell 100 items, what we'll see is the revenue is less than the cost, and so we're actually losing money, and so this would be a negative profit, and this negative profit may also be in the neighborhood of $500, maybe 600.